I stopped taking pictures of watches. Welcome back everyone to another episode, and today I'd like to talk to you about why I stopped taking pictures of watches and what got me back into it again. As many of you know, I'm using a Canon RP with a 35mm lens. This is the camera that I mostly use for making YouTube videos. And I also use it for YouTube shorts, reels, TikToks, and all that stuff. And I have been catching myself not wanting to take any more watch pictures. I actually did stop watch photography for quite some time. And by no means am I an expert in this field. I am an amateur. I do this as a hobby. I upload the pictures to Instagram and to other different kinds of platforms just to showcase what cool watches are out there and to expand my horizon in terms of watchmaking, the watch community, and of course, a little bit of photography as well. However, I found myself not taking pictures anymore because it wasn't easy. The process of taking pictures with the Canon aren't as simple as I'd like them to be. It's not that flexible. I have to fuss around with some buttons. I have to transfer everything onto an SD card. I have a MacBook Pro, which has only got USB-C slots, so there's no SD card slot. I know these are very, very small things to think about, and there are way bigger problems out there right now. However, for me, on a daily basis, it just stops me from taking pictures because the process is huge in the back end, and it's no fun actually. And I used to edit everything in Lightroom, which I never really liked, to be honest. I wanted it to be much easier. And overall, I was just bored. It was all the same every time, and I needed something fresh to remind me photography is fun and that it should be fun as well. Well, what basically changed is I was able to take part in a Leica workshop. During this workshop, I was able to use and try the Leica Q2, which I still have. Unfortunately, I have to give it back very soon, which I'm very, very sad about because it's been awesome. I had the opportunity to take this camera home with me and to try it out for a couple of weeks. And let me say this, I started having fun taking pictures again because the process of taking the picture, getting it onto my phone, and then getting it out there is easy and fast. And therefore, I have seen myself taking way more pictures than I used to in the last couple of weeks. You might already seen a lot of them. They have landed on my Instagram stories, which I rarely do. Yeah, and I was a bit impressed by myself that I was able to take a lot of these pictures and just use them and make it a very, very easy process. So what did I like about the Leica Q2? The camera is very small, so I have the opportunity to take it everywhere I go. The Canon RP isn't bulky in any way, and actually they weigh the same, or they have the same weight. However, the Leica feels a bit more sturdy and therefore a bit more heavy when holding it in my hand and taking these wrist shots. So that point goes to the Canon, definitely. However, I've seen myself, due to the restrictions you have on the Q2, in terms of buttons, in terms of layout, in terms of lens, that I stopped thinking about a lot of these things. So I just went out there, took pictures, did quick edits, and then put them on Instagram. It's been a fantastic ride and I really, really enjoyed it. There's one thing though that I feel needs improvement, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong. The autofocus, especially in the macro setting of the Q2, is somewhat tricky. So you have to figure it out. And I had a bit of a hard time figuring out when the focus is right and when, well, the image is perfectly sharp. So therefore, that's one of the tricky things, but it's very easily handleable with a manual focus, for example. It took some getting used to. Let's say that. Overall, I have been having way more fun using this camera than using this camera, especially for photography. I've been taking a lot more pictures, and as you might have already seen with the shots that I've shown you, you can also check out my Instagram where you'll probably see everything, all the shots I take, and yeah, let me know what you like about it. I have definitely enjoyed my time with the Leica Q2, and as I said, I'm very sad that I have to give it back, but let's see what happens in the future. Overall, I think it's a great camera. I'm not a camera expert, so please don't take this review as a camera specific review. It's just me talking about why I have enjoyed taking pictures more than in the past. Now, I'm gonna take the camera, take a couple of more shots, and see you in the next video. As always, if you feel like it, put a thumbs up. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. Leica Q2.